Hello everyone and welcome back to Steel Division 2. Today I just want to share my favorite deck and I will share them also in the um, comment section or in the description. So if you want some good decks to play 1v1, I believe this is it. Of course, it's worth noting that every playstyle differs. These deck works for me and they might not work for you. My play style, I would say I'm a Zerg play style. You know, I rush a lot. I send a lot of infantry. I like to play around these decks. So this is mostly what we're gonna see today. So if you're good with that, let's go with our very first one, CIABG Elite. Well, I don't know why I wrote Elite. There's no veterancy, but I do have a lot of leaders though, so you know I can upvet these to 2-star and these guys to 3-star. And so basically here what we have is a lot of infantry, 127 of them, converted gunners in phase A because they have good strength. They got 15 units and they do 1.3 damage at 500 meters, which isn't bad. It's pretty good. And then to reinforce phase A, I go with 9 flamer troops, and these guys can also serve as medium range infantry. Although I wouldn't recommend it, but they could, and they also got half tracks with them. Now, I don't use a lot of infantry in phase A. I like to suffer in phase A, and as the game go progressively, I get better and better. You got machine gun 42 to start the games, and I got also 6 Churchill in B and 6 Cromwell for 2k. Like all of these guys, they all do 2k range HE damage. Admittedly, probably I could take the Cromwell in phase B because they're way faster, but since the Churchill are stronger, and I feel that 20 millimeter armor can make a big difference at 2k range. So I do take the Churchill. They do take quite a time to arrive. You could exchange the Churchill 5 for these Cromwell and put the Cromwell in phase A so that you have 2k range in phase A, which is very important, but for some reason I don't do it with this deck. I have a lot of recon and I really like this unit. This is a particular unit. It's not that great. It's not that good. But I like it. It goes 85 kilometers an hour, meaning it's going to arrive before your infantry. So that's very good to scout out the area. Does the enemy have bazookas? Does he have, AT rifles? Does he have, very light, recon or whatever that it could maybe destroy? It only does 20 mil damage, but for some it's enough. And so it also has a machine gun that can suppress the enemy infantry. So I really like to open, and they cost 10 points. I really like to open up with these guys on the entire map. I put these guys on the road. They scout ahead and they tell me what's what and who's who. They also have a radio, so those that survive you can bring back after the initial deployment, and you can hide somewhere for your infantry, for your artillery later to use the radio. I'm also going to use 2-star Stewards. These are really good for infantry support. Admittedly, you could take them unvetted. It doesn't change a lot of stuff, but I like my Steward to survive, and the best chance they do to survive is to shoot 10 rounds per minute. So this is why I do it here. They also have the radio, so they can be useful if they survive the initial encounter. In B phase, I'm going to have some Cromwell, Recon, and Radio as well. These guys are going to be to support the tank and open area. When you send a lot of tanks somewhere, it's nice to have some Recon with them. And in phase C, I got 9 Recon unit. They are used for their Molotov cocktail, for their CQC strength. They got 4 Thompson machine guns, so they do 2 damage, which is a lot. And they got the Molotov cocktail as well. Plus their strength of 12. They can use Lee Enfield in CQC, and they could also use a light machine gun in some range. So if they get caught in the open, they can at least defend themselves. So really, really good unit. You gotta get these guys in your deck somewhere, whether A, B, or C. But I take them in C because I'm playing on a balance income. So it's nice to have, in phase A, I got the Zeniste. In phase B, I got, actually, I got nothing in phase B for CQC. But, phase C is where it's all about with this deck. Then for the infantry, like I said, you rely on these guys to start. Then in B phase, you got a lot of these guys, the FFO Fusilier, and they're not that great, but they cost 15 points. So they hold the line, they get killed. It doesn't really matter. You also got a commandant, 2 machine gun, which is great. Obviously, you don't want to use them for that, but they can defend themselves basically. And B face, you also got these Motostrelsi with the half tracks. These guys got the bazookas, which is why I'm taking them. They're not that great, but since they have bazookas, I figured I'd take them uh, rather than the converted RAF gunners. I feel like I got already big enough numbers. And in C phase, we're going with 64 of these FFO Fusilier. And so just so I can spam all day long. And so you really can see what my style of play here is with that. Tank-wise, I got some Stuart leaders to support, not to attack. I got 8 Cromwells. These guys are pretty cheap. They're fast. These are the one that's going to attack. I got some Churchills because of their 150 mil armor, and so they don't do a lot of damage, although they can destroy Panzer force. But they do a lot of soaking in. So you bring 4 of these in phase A. It's going to be really hard for the enemy to kill them. I've had these survive the entire game, and I mean they're really, really worth it. You keep them at a 1500 meter range, or even at 2k, and they just absorb the damage from enemy ATs or stuff like that, depending on which AT. But yeah. In phase B, I've got more of these Cromwells. I've got 4 Firefly. Now, you only get 1 card of Firefly, and they're your bread and butter, really, to destroy other tanks. They do 170 mil damage, but they're really, really weak with 90 mil penetration, so you gotta be careful with them. I usually couple them with a leader so that they get 3-star, and I use them in ambush position, so, try not to get these in the open or things like that. And then in phase C, I got more Cromwell, and I also got the Cromwell leaders at 120 mil. Oh wait, I'm sorry. In phase B, the Cromwells are 120 mil armor as well. So these are really, really good. They're fast and they're powerful. So that's really good. And then in phase C, I got more of these, but in leaders. So you kind of see I got really strong unit in all phases, coupled with some troops for the fodder. And support unit, I got the 2k ones. I got 4 machine guns. 1 supply. I got these guys, 17 pounders with the 6 pounder in A. In A phase, before I had the Crusaders in C phase. They're useful, but I found they were more useful in A phase, so I put them there. But, feel free to shift this around however you like. You do have a lot of choices there. Buffers for the male, they're already super strong, so I didn't upvet them. But, you could go with 1 upvet, and you'd be good. And these guys are obviously really good, so I keep them in C phase with the supply. Yeah, with supplies, because I need supply. I like supplies. I like to have a lot of supplies. You see here, I got 4, 6, 4, 5, 6, 12, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I got 16 supply trucks. I'm good for the entire game. Over here, I got the 25 pounders. They can put smoke. They got 40 rounds, so they're good to last the entire A phase without supplies. Then I got these guys, the Artil Killer. These guys, they shoot 3 rounds per minute. Well, at 1 star, they actually shoot 4 rounds per minute, which is why I don't take them in C phase. I got the Long Tom 155 who do 8 rounds per minute, so less powerful, but a lot more rounds per minute. And so that's going to be really good to counter artillery. That's going to be good to kill it. Um, yeah. And then I got 2 planes, and I got some Mitchell's bombers as well for the rest. So that's it. I'm gonna be sharing that deck. You know how to play it a little bit. I told you how, and so hopefully you can win a lot of games in there. Another game that well, yeah, I started playing these guys a lot as well. I'm trying out something here. In C Face, I got Cat 5 set. I got 7 IL2s, double vet, but I've just started playing this deck. I'm just having fun with it. Nothing too serious. Although I gotta admit, I can't wait for C Face every time just because I want to use those double vetted IL2s. I guess I'll share this deck as well since we're talking about it. In A phase, I got a lot of snipers to compensate for the lack of infantry. I do have a lot of Chernos. I find them rather useless. I think I'm going to replace them with Strelki or... I don't really like Avtovachiki, but yeah. That deck is still pretty new to me though, but that's the one I've been playing recently. I got these 120 mil. I like to take them, I put them somewhere far, and I put them on fire at will. And they do the job, they really do. I got, obviously I got these guys. They're okay. They're not bad. They're pretty good, but yeah, you gotta be careful with them. Got 16 Valentine. What's the other deck like that I've created recently as well? Oh, I think it's that one. No, that's the same one. Is that... No, that's the same. Why do I have multiple? I can't find it. It doesn't matter. Sorry. Oh, that's the one. That's the deck I'm gonna share. I've had a lot of success with this one. Start the game with snipers, and you bring them with these guys so that they can, repel early infantry push. And got 5 BA10 in order to go with the recon. I got in B face. I got these guys. They're really good. They can defend themselves. They see a lot. What's not to like? And in C face, I've got the T70 spam. These guys, they do 75 and 100 mil damage. So I think they're good. They're cheap in C face. If you got a lot of problems, you can bring them around. They help you out against the infantry. It's really cool. I got a lot of A face infantry. 12 Strelki, the DP and the SVT version, plus 6 Saperi double star. Because recently I found out they changed the Pioneer stats, and you can throw the frag even after receiving flamethrowers in the face. And so I used to never vet them because I wanted to make sure they get suppressed quick enough for me to retreat, to fall back. But now that I know that, I double vet them so that they can throw their satchel faster. So anyway, I got that in phase A. I got the Grupa Zachiski to help out in the CQC. I got 12 plus 18 of them, so I got CQC until the game ends. That's not a problem. The regular Strelki DP for phase B, and some Strelki in phase C. You get a lot of... got enough infantry to go around. Phase A, you got the T26 with the T60s. These guys are going to help out. In B phase, I've got the cavalry coming in. They're not that strong, but they're pretty reliable. Good infantry support, I find. Then you got the classic Maxim 52P. I open up with these guys and these guys. I got 2 supply truck. I felt it was needed for the amount of mortars that I have. So one for the 82 mil and the other for the 120 mil. In terms of anti-tank, I'm going strong in phase A because you don't have a lot of stuff in phase A to stop tanks. So these are basically what you have you gotta hope for good micro with the T-26 in order to get them to kill something and survive. And phase B, I'm gonna count on M42s to stop any incoming rushes or. But admittedly, I could put them in phase A. That would really help my cause there. But you guys know I like to struggle in phase A in order to go strong. So phase B it is for me. And plus, obviously, now I got 8 ISU 122 with 125 mil armor, and I got 4 ISU 122S. They're basically the same thing. It's a different gun, but they do the exact same thing. I don't know the difference between them other than the gun, the rate, the rounds per minute, basically, and the accuracy. All right. Well, anyway, so I got 4 I got 12 of these ISU 122, and really they're my bread and butter in this deck. And unfortunately, you don't have a lot of choice for the AA, so I took them all unvetted. I even took these guys, which I don't like, but I figured if they followed the ISU really close by, they could save them. And so there you go. I have 82 mil mortar for phase A. I got these guys. People don't like the 120 mil mortars. They don't have a lot of ammo, and they're kind of slow. But for me, I find them to be of so much use. You just put them 3K behind the front line, and you put them on fire at will, and you just kind of forget they exist. And they just, when you got all 6 of them firing at will, and you got the transport with them, they're really, really good. So you got that. And then in phase C, I was debating getting the 152 mil. But look at that. The Morser shoots more. It got 8 rounds per minute compared to the 152 with 4 rounds per minute. And so why not? I mean, the price is much more expensive. It's 30 points more. But what's 30 points? And the Morser, I found they don't survive a lot, and that's fine. But it's just for fun. Just for fun. I took 4 of these Morser. I've never yet brought them completely. The most I did was 2. But I can't wait for the game where I'll need 4 of them. And plane-wise, since you don't have a lot of good AA, I figured I'd get a lot of planes. So I've got 3 of these guys in phase A. In phase B, I got 2 of these guys. And in phase C, I got 10 of these. Yeah, so I do have a lot of airplanes. And then I got these guys, 2 of them for defense purpose. So say the enemy is pushing too hard, then I bring these guys and they help me out. So I'll share this deck as well, and hopefully you guys can have as much fun as I have playing them. What else do I play a lot these days? I used to play Moskaya a whole lot. This is the deck I would use. I'll share it. In phase A, you rely. Oh wait, is that the deck I was using with? Yep, that's the one I was using. Pretty sure. Yeah. Yeah, that was the one. All right, so let's get back to it. All right, so I am not using a lot of AT guns, which some people might think it's a mistake. But here's the catch. I use these guys. I use the artillery deck to supply me with 6 AT. And these guys, they're the same thing as the Zistries, except they don't have the PCR, and instead of 40 shells, they have 10. so that's a drawback. But basically, you only use these guys for phase A. So 10 rounds each. That's 60 rounds of AT gun for phase A. It's plenty good, and plus you do have this Zis2 as well. So this is what I do with this deck. I use the artillery for AT. I'm going to use a lot of infantry as well. They all have the anti-tank rifle or anti-tank grenades, and so that helps a lot against half-track push, things like that. I've got the Oznaz with the bazooka, so you don't really need tank in phase A when you got all of that. AA wise, I've upvetted one on all of them. Got these guys coming in B unvetted. In phase A, I also got 12 Maxim machine gun. So, you know, what I do with that is I open up with the machine gun and the 52P and the Zis trees here. I open up with these guys. They take the flags, the anti-tank rifle as well. These guys help. And what I do is I concentrate on an area to push with my infantry. So you really, with a deck like that, you really want to be dictating where the enemy attacks. You don't want the enemy to come to you. Otherwise, you don't know where to put your, you know, otherwise it's just, it's complicated. It's a nightmare. So if you push one area with these guys, you know to put your AT guns there because that's where the enemy will funnel his troops into. And hopefully he's not going to think about getting somewhere else on the map. But if he does, then you got these guys in reinforcement that you can call in, and you also got these PTRS and you got these Uzdas that are all on ambush position. So you know you're kind of set. With these dudes, I'm going to open as well with the Uznas VMF and the Uznas Saperi. Saperi are going to be used for early take of the forest. And you know you got these trucks, these white trucks they're called. They're really, really cool. Oh, they changed the name, I guess, but they're really cool trucks. 12.7 armored, can't ask for better infantry support. And then phase B, you've got these guys, 6 and 4, and that's just enough. I used to have a lot of phase B recon. What else did I have? I had snipers and all that in C phase. These guys as well, but I find that I had too much recon, so too much is not better. All right, and then in phase B and C, I've got these. Really, with Moskaya, you really want to use the off map, otherwise it is kind of impossible because by phase A you're so far behind. If the enemy has pushed you hard with vehicles and was successful, then it's really hard. So you want to use these guys to help you out along the rest of the game. Also, for the airplanes, I've got Recon to help out, and also because these guys are fighter plane with 220 mil and 47.7, I find they're better than the Yak. Plus, they can see the map, so that's always good. I've got in phase A, I've got 3 PE3 with 82 mil rockets. The 82 mil rockets are not as good as the 132 mil, but since you get 3 of them, and in phase A, you're going to need a lot of support. And that's the one I went with. And you also got a cluster, IL-2, for any emergencies. And then in phase B, I got 6 bomber IL-2 with 2 more clusters to help out. And so that's my deck, and that's how I play it. And, oh yeah, the infantry B phase, I got Saperis. I'm probably going to upvet these guys now, but yeah, let's upvet them. There you go. Yeah, so I got Saperis and I got Flamers. These guys have 2 Flamethrowers, so they're really good. I've got 8 Leaders and 12 Strafniki. And then in phase C, I've got these guys, really good. 2 DP28, 1 PTRD. They're the classic, you know, so that's pretty good. And you just kind of push the enemy as much as you can. And throughout B and C, you got access to Zis2s. So, yeah, and then, you know, if these guys survive phase A, you can then use them for counter battery or anything, really. You'd probably want to focus on the enemy AA if you can, so that your planes can get through. Alright, so I'll share this deck as well. What else do I have in the ally deck? These guys are fun. They're really fun to play. I don't play them anymore much, but yeah. What else? Oh, recently I started playing these guys, but I'm not that successful. They are fun to use though, so I'll share the deck. I got Bowfighters. These are the best AT plane in the game, in my opinion. The best rocket AT plane in the game. They're really good. I got some of these. I open up the game with these. They got 55 ammo. You just put on either counter battery or defensive fire or fire at will, and they'll do the job. And then I got these guys as well, 105 mil, not the greatest, and 30 rounds of ammo, but it's better than nothing. Actually, I should probably take these guys. $5.25. Oh, well, anyway. I open up the game with a lot of infantry. I got a lot of infantry, some Shermans. I got these 80 guns. They're just you play them regularly. I use these guys because they're 95 kilometers an hour. So I want to stop the enemy. I want the enemy to unload, basically to have to unload. So I use these guys. I put them on the road 2x2, always in the team of two, and especially because the infantry are pretty slow to arrive. These trucks, they go at 60 kilometers an hour. So, the recon are really good for that. You get the Staghound, you get the Esporati with the bazookas, and these guys. And these allow you to arrive with the infantry. In phase A, I got the Commandosi 2-star. I got the Flamer 2-star, 13 Flamer squad, very good. I got the Gustatori, Frag HE, and the Alpini. The Alpinis aren't that great, but they're cheap and they come double vetted in good numbers, so that's why I take them. They're the meat fodder, basically. In B phase, I got 2-star RDT, so double vetted as well. They can do good in CQC, they can do good in long to medium range, and they got explosive. So I mean, and oh yeah, and they are fanatical and they're 10 strength. So I mean, that's the best you can get. And then I got 2-star flamers for that CQC, and I also got some Marobren for the machine gun. These are kind of my line infantry. While these guys over here will go and attack in the forest and whatnot, but these guys are just staying back and suppressing the enemy. And then in phase C, I got 24 double star Alpini just for that extra spam. Tanks are gonna be some Shermans, so 1-star in A, 2-star in B. In C, I got 18 Stuart. Why do I do that? It's just for fun. It's just for fun. I want to have a lot of. I mean, I often get into games that are hour long, 30 minutes to hour long. So, due to my playstyle, because I don't rush things most often, so I really want to have enough stuff that can last me a long time. Plus, I do have 6 Sherman with 110 millimeter armor here. And they're leaders as well. So, I'm good on Sherman. I'm good on infantry support for the entire game with that. I have 6 Beretta M37. Not the greatest. I don't really like them, but they're 15 points, so whatever, right? I got some Lance Flamme as well, and I got a lot of supplies, 4 and 6. In terms of anti-tank, I started the game with the 57 mil and the Cannoni, and then I got 4 Wolverine. I don't like these M10 tank destroyers, but I kind of have to. So that's what I get. 4 of them, double vetted, 65 points. For the cost, they're pretty good. It's just to me, I don't really like them. But anyway, I got some 17 pounder as well. 4 of them in B phase. Although admittedly, I wanted to put them in C phase, but I need something better than just a Wolverine in B phase if I want to survive. So that's why I have this. Then I got whatever. I want my AA to survive since I have barely nothing. So I'm not using these guys. I'm using these guys. They can move. They can stay together in groups in a pack of 4, and they can move around the map so as to not get counter batteried. So they're pretty good for that. And I got these guys as well. Good for suppression. You're not gonna kill a lot of stuff unless the enemy is careless, but it'll stop them. And then I got these artillery and the airplane. In phase A, I got 3 of these guys, and then in phase A as well, I got 4 more. I don't know why. I have probably best to put these guys in B phase. There is a reason why I put them both in A. Oh yeah, I got spammed by airplane in phase A, and these guys died rapidly. So then I had nothing to counter because I had these guys in B phase. Up to you. Probably put them in B phase. Double star could be cool as well, but not needed. Anyway, so I got the both fighters in A and B. These guys are gonna do most of the tank killing, and they'll survive too. Um, they're pretty good. So that's the CIL deck. Let's go take the recon. The recon I've got in C phase. I've got yeah. That's why. Sorry. That's why I only got the Alpini in C phase. That's for the spam. And over here in C phase, I got these guys, Peseglieri. They're just regular, you know. They're just regular like the Alpini, but they have recon and they're also double vetted for 12 men. I found that it's a good deal, so I took them. And I got these guys with the sniper and double vetted as well. So I thought it was a really good deal. So I mean, you've got all these double vetted units in C phase that are not that great, but double vetting them against people that don't play a lot with veterancy, which is half the time I would say, because you play against noobs most often, half the time. So I don't know. They're just fun. They're fun to use. It's fun to use 2-star units, and yeah. So I'll share that deck as well. And that's pretty much it for the allies currently that I'm playing a lot. Now let's go into the Axis. What do we have? Is that the new one I made? Yeah, I play with Panzer recently. I've got A-Face. I got, 3 Pumas, Panzer Shrek, Pioneers. I should probably modify my deck and double vet all my Pioneers, but I like to have availability in Phase A. And I mean, that's the only CQC units that I have, so I don't know. I gotta think about it. I gotta think. You can resupply them as well, apparently. I've asked on my clan, and you can resupply these guys, and you can resupply Tenko Desantniki as well. Any troops with Molotov cocktail, you can resupply. I thought it was interesting. You never see that happening. And yeah, anyway, so I got the classic, this is a tank division, so you've got the classic low infantry numbers. This is not a spam division. I don't use most of my German deck. I don't use them to spam, but sometimes I do. So I start the game also with 2 Panzer 4, 3 Panzer 3s, and the leaders, which is pretty good. Plus, I've got the Panther 8 that I also use just for combat purpose. I use them because it's a 2-star Panther in A phase, and that's pretty good. His sword is bread, and it's worth the cost because he's gonna kill a lot of stuff most of the time. Sometimes I'm really careless with them and I just send them and they die. That happens. I notice I don't have any support in phase A, and this is where it's my playstyle. I suffer a lot in phase A, and I like to go strong in phase B and C. But I kind of replace the support units there with the 2 fighter bombers. It's a different kind of playing when you play that deck. It's different. The A phase is gonna be really hard. I can make it work though. I can make it work most of the time, but it's gonna be really hard. I got 3 pack 40, 2 ZKZ, and the mortars. So really, the mortars and the airplanes are gonna be what's keeping you alive in phase A. So you wanna bring them. In phase E, I have 10 machine gun, 8 grille, so these guys are going to be used together. I got more pack 40s. I got the Wirbelwind. I like it. I really like this unit and its survivability. You see, I've got all track vehicles. It's because of survivability. These guys, they'll shoot and then you just move them elsewhere and they're safe. Whereas I don't like using the 88 guns for AA defense because they're so easy to kill. Artillery will get you. You might want to use them in phase A, then they'll be super strong. But by phase B or C, it's a gamble. it's a gamble. It's an expensive gamble as well. For 5 points more, you get this guy, does a lot of damage, kill airplanes, and you can move them around. It's really, to me, it's a no-brainer. And then in Sea Face, I've got this emergency, is what I call the emergency Gepard. If the enemy is really hard on me with airplanes, at least I got these guys that can help me out throughout the game. And hopefully I'll bring like 2 or 3 at a time, 1 minute of income basically, and 3 of these somewhere on the front line is pretty dangerous. Recon wise, I got now you notice in the tank tab I don't have any Panzer 4 for B phase because I used a recon one. So recon Panzer 4 really dangerous. Any kind of recon tanks is extremely dangerous because they'll see the enemy tank before they do. A lot of people won't bring recon, so that's a big advantage to you. So yeah, I put the recon tank there, and I think they're 1 point too. So you get 1 point rather than 3 points to bring them with the tank tab. You only get 5 of these though, but it's one, and they got the recon really good. And then what else in B phase? I got 2-star Tiger with 1 Panther leader, so that's 3 heavy tank for phase B and 4 medium tank, so that's pretty good. I got Pioneers, Panzer Shrek, I got what else? Pack 40, and I got more abstract mortars, which is why I have 2 cards of supplies. I really like to use them. I get 4 of them. Oh, I got 2 extra, but I always bring 4 of them together, and I just concentrate on important target. 88 mils, heavy tanks, pocket of resistance in the forest from the enemy, because I don't have a lot of CQC. So if I'm stuck with bring Panzer Grenadier in the forest, I'll take 4 of these guys and I'll shoot everywhere in the forest. Then I'll move these guys and they can just mop up what's left. And so that's pretty good. And I got 2 extras. So if 2 of mine die, then I can still get a pack, a wolf pack, and still destroy the enemy. So that's honestly that's all the artillery I need. I don't need the big stuff. They're cool to use, but I find with that you get so much more kills and so much more pain in the ass. The enemy will really, you'll be on his nerve, that's for sure. Although this one is pretty cool looking, I like it. But anyway, and then I got these 2 to help support phase A. So yeah, that's my Panzer layer balance. I'll share the deck. Oh yeah, in C phase I got 2 2-star Panther, and I got 7 Panzer 4, and I got the Avklare Panther D as well. And by this time, I probably still have some leaders around, so I can bring them to 2-star, or even if the commander is still alive, 3-star Panther D Recon. Just think about that for a second. 3-star Panther D Recon. And that's very, very good. Admittedly, you could remove these guys and get the Pumas and 234 in A phase. That's really, really going to help you out. Like I said, I like to struggle in A phase, and otherwise, sometimes it's just too easy. Going into QP, it's fun to give you some disadvantage, and then when you get to C phase, it's just a total. It's a fun party. It's a fun party. I'll share it if you want to challenge yourself. Play it. What else do I play a lot these days? No. Oh, that's my all-time favorite deck of the entire game. Festoon. You get strong tank, you get strong airplane, strong artillery, strong AA, strong AT, strong support, you get strong infantry, and you get awesome recon units as well. The Jag Commando. Before I used to have 3 and 6, 1 in phase A, but I changed that in support of more support units, I think. Oh, and the Flamers comes with the traction truck that comes at 115 kilometers an hour. So, man, this deck, it's the epitome of my playstyle. This is my playstyle. That's how I play. So, let's start. In phase A, sorry. In phase A, I got the Stas troop. These guys come with the frag HE rather than the Molotov they often come with. So that's pretty good. I like him. I like him. They're good enough. And five strength, they're just enough for you to use all three frags. You throw the frag, you retreat, you come back, retreat, and then one last time. So that's really, really good. I don't use the Yag Pioneer. Sorry, because there's only one flamer. But anyway, then continuing phase A, I got the classic Grenadier Panzerfaust. I use them for support. It's cheap support. It's 20 point. I could use a lot more stuff. You know, maybe I could use the Pioneer, but I just use them as my line infantry basically. And then I got these Jagdkampf with the bazookas, 2 machine gun 42, 6 Javert 43, and 4 MP40. So these guys are good wherever you want them, they'll be good. So I use these guys to attack, or often I'll be very defensive in phase A, so I use these guys in ambush position. Then in phase B, I got the Festoon Grenadier. These guys are 15 strong. One automatic rifle, so they shoot their machine gun while moving. That's really good. And they also got 14 rifle bolt action. So these guys are extremely good. They are disheartened, which is great because they get a little bit suppressed, then they retreat, and then they come back. And this is draining for your enemy. And they require very little mitral, so they do all this on their own. So basically, they're my new Mustad Mentlid favorite. Before it was 7th Estonian, my favorite division, because of the Mustad. These guys, the Festoon Grenadier, really good. So in B phase, I use trains of these guys. Plus, I got the KM Pioneers. So I've got 10 of them with Frag HE and Bazooka. So that's pretty good. I've got the Grenadier Führer as well. And I've got Jagdkampf, more of them with Panzer Shrike. And by that time, they're 3-star with the leaders. So that's extremely good. And in phase C, I got more spam units. So the KM Marine Infanterie and the Black Kampftruppen. And these guys, again, come with bazookas. So bazooka-wise, you have a lot. You have a lot. Good infantry all around. Tank is quite weak in this deck, but still, 4 Panzer 4 and 8 Stug 3. Usually I always bring my Stug 3 double star, but seeing as you don't have a lot of choice, that's 12 tanks total. I usually don't even use the Panzer 4 in A phase, so I get 12 for B phase onward. The support unit, some people make a case of using these guys in A phase because that's where they're the most strong, and they can destroy recon, rush, clown cards, things like that. But I don't know. I like to have 8 of them to spam from B to C. So yeah, but basically they're 20 mil AP autocannon with 1500 meter range. So they're the best. They're not good at close range. They'll get destroyed. But they're really good in the long range. You use them to support a really good machine gun. In phase A, I got these guys coming in early to take flags. I got 6 MG08 to place all over the battlefield. And I got the MG34 to place with my usually offensive. So what I do is I'll open up with a Jagdpanther, a couple of these pack 50 mil, and I'll use the MG34 and Jagdkampf, and I'll push with these guys in one location. And I'll also come in with, I'll open up the Jagdpanther because you don't want that mighty unit to be destroyed right away by airplanes. So I always open up with the Flak 88. And they come with the fast transport. So these guys go 70 kilometers an hour. So they get there on the front line quick. They can kill tanks. They can shoot airplanes. They'll protect your Jagdpanther. So sometimes I'll even start the game with 2 of these and one of them. It's expensive, but you do have cheap options to fill the battlefield. You know, put machine gun, 20 points, 20 points grenadier. You're good. You really are. So, so anyway, in phase B, I'll have these guys and the IG-33. So you know, put these guys together, and it's a killer combo. All you gotta worry about basically is the artillery. Airplanes, I'm gonna have two Bofors, two 88. Then in B phase, I got the Flak Veerling plus the Flak 43, and then in C phase, I got four of these really powerful 105 mil AA gun, dual purpose gun. In the artillery department, I start with these guys, three of them. They can put some smoke. They got 48 shells, so you know you place them, put them on fire at will, forget about them. And when they run out of ammo, up to you if you want to support them. Do I have the supply trucks? Yeah, I do have. So you know you can support them. You can resupply them if you want. And then I got these 155 mil, two in B phase, four in C phase, and I got these guys. I used to play with a lot more, but now I just play with these guys, and the artillery does the rest. And then I use these JU-88. A lot of people won't, but they be doing a mistake because these guys 420 mil bullets, so that's 5.42 damage plus they got a turret as well, which is fine. But basically, you want to use these guys to destroy supply trucks. It has happened, you know. You get some recon in B phase. You got your recon unit. By the way, the recon unit, explosive, 2 machine gun, 3 MP41. I mean, come on, they're really good. But anyway, where were we? Yeah, the airplanes. These guys, they will destroy everything, everything. And sometime I'll destroy a pack, almost destroy a pack 40 in one run. You use them especially when the enemy is pushing you hard. But even so, even if you want to go deep in enemy territory, you can with these because they've got very good resilience. The enemy AA is going to have a very hard time killing you, and this will force your enemy to spend a lot more points in AA than they would, and all that for 65 points for you. I bring both of them. Plus, they can destroy bombers pretty easily. So if you got these guys flying around, a bomber comes in, this guy's gonna destroy it for sure. Look at that's his armament right there. Damn. No, you want to use these guys. They're extremely good. Then B phase, I got the bomber variants, and I got the DO-217 with two 2K bombs. These guys are pretty cool as well. So that's the festoon deck. I've got 5 and 8 pack 40 in B phase for anti-tank. This guy usually survives the entire game. It's rare that he dies. Very rare. Yeah, so I'll share this deck as well. What else do we have? Oh yeah, I 352 recently started playing with them a lot. There you go. I started trying these guys out a couple of days ago. I've been playing them a lot. They're fun to use, you know. The infantry really lets me down though, and I kind of hate that. But lots of pioneers, lots of ATs, um, and lots of Yag Panthers. So that's pretty good. I love these guys. They're really good. They survive the entire game basically. You've got good ammo, good artillery. Yeah. 6 machine gun in A, 10 in B, plus the IG-33. So the only thing really is that the infantry really sucks. But you get lots of them, and they're cheap. So it's a fair trade. I'll share this deck as well. I have something else here that I recently play. No, I think that's about it. Panzer Verben Mav, very successful with them. I beat pro players. I'll share the deck. I use the infantry to supply the lack of infantry in phase A. 2 Panther D, 1 Panther leader. It's pretty good. If you want to bring the commandant, I bring him with a 20 mil AA as well. And what else do I have? I have something else. No, I don't. I bring a. Usually, I'll open up with a Panzer D and a Panzer A Führer. I'll open up with one Flak 36. And yeah, that's the leaders here. They got more. Okay. Eventually, I'll bring out all my leaders, and I've got all of these small 20 mil, which are good enough when you're playing a Maverick, just to repel the enemy while you try to win the game. But I also got in phase A 2 Panther G. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 Panther, and sometime I'll bring 3 of them in A phase. One is going really good. I got the machine gun IG-18 and SZKZ 251 9D to hold the other flank, and I'll make a big push somewhere. I'll spawn with with 2 Panther total. I'll spawn with a leader with 20 mil. I'll spawn with a Flak 36. The Erkordungs Recon to go with these tanks, and this is all going in one road, so as to overwhelm the enemy. And then yeah, that's what I do, and I just push, and then I destroy stuff. I bring reinforcement. I'll bring, because my flanks are only protected by these 3, so it's really dangerous. I'll bring the first reinforcement. Will have Panzer trees coming in, 1 Panzer tree each to each squad of these that I have. And then I'll bring the Panzer IV to support the Panther D if they're still alive. And I also have these guys, so Stuka 37 mil and some Fokker Wolf. And I just push. I push hard. That's what I do. I'll share this deck as well. It's a pretty fun deck. And that's about it. So I'll share these decks. I hope you have fun playing them, and I hope it helps. Alright, goodbye guys.